If you are raising chickens right now, I need you to stop whatever you are doing and watch this. Because at some point this week, you are going to walk into a feed store, hand over $30, $40, maybe $50 for a bag that is going to last you less than a month, and then do it all over again next month, and the month after that, and the month after that. And nobody in that store is going to tell you what I am about to tell you. Because there is a plant, one single plant, that your chickens will eat like it is the best thing they have ever tasted, that contains more protein than most of what is inside that bag, that grows itself back faster than you can harvest it, and that costs you absolutely nothing once you have it started. It is not a secret. It has been studied by agricultural scientists across 4 continents for over 40 years. The research is published. The results are documented. Farmers in Asia have been using it for over 1,000 years. So why have you never heard of it? By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is, exactly how to grow it in your backyard with almost no effort, and exactly why the commercial feed industry has absolutely no interest in ever telling you it exists. Stay with me because I am going to show you the actual math, how much you could realistically cut from your monthly feed bill and how quickly. And I am also going to show you the 2 specific reasons this plant has stayed invisible in the West, despite being one of the most well-documented livestock feeds in the world. Those 2 reasons are going to make you angry. If you believe there is knowledge out there that actually works and that nobody is trying to sell you, hit subscribe right now. Golden Garden Secrets is exactly where we dig things like this up every single week. Let's get into it. Let's start with what is actually happening to your wallet. In 2019, a 50-pound bag of quality layer feed cost somewhere between $15 and $18. Today, that same bag is $35 to $50 depending on where you live, and it is not slowing down. If you are running even a small backyard flock of 20 birds, you are going through roughly 100 pounds of feed every single month. At today's prices, that is somewhere between $70 and $100 a month, just to keep them fed. Over a full year, that is anywhere from $800 to $1,200. And if you are selling eggs to cover it, the math has quietly stopped working. Here is the part nobody says out loud. That bag of feed is not just corn and soy. You are paying for global supply chains, diesel costs, corporate margins, packaging, and a distribution network that adds cost at every single step. Every time fuel prices shift or a drought hits a grain-growing region somewhere in the world, that price climbs higher. You are not just buying feed, you are paying for a system that was designed to keep you buying feed. What if you could step outside that system entirely? Not supplement it. Step outside it. That plant exists, and it is called Azolla. Azolla is a tiny floating aquatic fern. It looks almost like a bright green moss sitting on the surface of still water. And under the right conditions, it doubles its entire body weight every 2 to 3 days. Read that again. Every 2 to 3 days. Here is what makes it genuinely extraordinary. Azolla contains between 25 and 35% crude protein on a dry weight basis. Your commercial layer feed contains 16 to 18%. Azolla beats it. And it does this without soil, without fertilizer, without pesticides, and without costing you a single dollar once you have your system running. The reason it can do this is a tiny cyanobacterium that lives inside its leaves in a symbiotic relationship. It pulls nitrogen directly out of the air and converts it into plant nutrition. Azolla essentially fertilizes itself. It does not need you to feed it. It feeds itself, and then it feeds your chickens. On top of the protein, Azolla contains essential amino acids, beta-carotene, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and vitamins A, B12, and K. Chickens fed fresh Azolla consistently show better egg production, richer, darker yolks, stronger immune response, and visibly healthier feathers. This is not anecdotal. This is documented across multiple peer-reviewed studies. Let me give you the research because this matters. In 1987, researchers at the Tamil Nadu Agricultural University in India ran feeding trials replacing up to 25% of conventional broiler feed with fresh Azolla. Growth rates were identical. Feed costs dropped significantly. The study was published in the Indian Journal of Poultry Science. A 2009 study from the University of the Philippines at Los Banos tested Azolla specifically with laying hens. Birds receiving 10 to 15% Azolla in their diet showed no reduction in egg production whatsoever, and had visibly richer yolk color due to the high carotenoid content. The researchers concluded Azolla could replace up to 20% of commercial feed with zero loss in performance. In Vietnam, it has been used as a primary feed for ducks and pigs for decades, particularly across the Mekong Delta. The Vietnamese government actively promoted Azolla farming in rural development programs in the 1990s. Farmers there grow it in small ponds alongside rice paddies and harvest it daily. This is not a backyard experiment. This is a national food strategy. In China, the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences published multiple papers throughout the 1980s and 1990s documenting its nutritional profile and its viability as livestock feed. Azolla has been cultivated in Chinese agriculture for over 1,000 years, primarily as green manure for rice fields, but also as supplemental feed for poultry and pigs. 40 years of peer-reviewed science across 4 countries, all pointing to the same conclusion. So if this plant is this well documented, this effective, and this easy to grow, why is it not everywhere? Why has nobody at your feed store ever mentioned it? There are 2 reasons, and neither of them are good. Reason 1. There is no profit in it. Azolla cannot be patented. It cannot be branded. It cannot be bagged, shipped, stored, or marked up by 200%. It grows itself. It spreads itself. It costs nothing. For a commercial feed industry worth over $40 billion annually in the United States alone, Azolla is not a product. It is a threat. If enough backyard farmers started growing their own, entire revenue streams would simply disappear. Reason 2. It requires a shift in how you think about farming. The modern agricultural system is built entirely around buying inputs, seeds, fertilizer, feed, pesticides. The whole model depends on you being a customer. Self-sufficiency does not fit that model. Growing your own chicken feed sounds radical in 2026, only because decades of industrial agriculture have conditioned us to believe that food production is something other people do at scale. But it is not. It is something you can start in your backyard this weekend. Here is exactly how to set it up. You need a container that holds water, a kiddie pool, a livestock trough, an old bathtub, a large plastic storage bin. Any of these work. It needs to be at least 6 inches deep and positioned somewhere that gets partial to full sunlight throughout the day. Fill it with fresh water. If you are on tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours first, so the chlorine can off-gas. Azolla grows best in still water with a pH between 4.5 and 7.5. Most tap water falls within that range naturally, so you likely will not need to adjust it. Now you need your starter culture. You can order Azolla online from aquatic plant suppliers, aquarium hobbyist communities, or permaculture networks. A small handful is genuinely all you need. Drop it into the water and leave it. Within days, it will begin spreading across the surface. Within 2 weeks, depending on your temperatures, it may have covered the entire container. Azolla thrives in temperatures between 68 and 86 degrees Fahrenheit. It slows down in cold weather, but can be overwintered indoors under a grow light. In warmer climates, it grows year-round with almost no intervention. To keep it growing strong, add a small amount of trace nutrients weekly. A tablespoon of wood ash, a little diluted compost tea, or even a small amount of diluted fish emulsion. If your Azolla starts turning yellow or stops spreading, it is almost always a phosphorus deficiency. A little organic input fixes it within days. To harvest, simply scoop handfuls from the surface using your hands or a fine mesh net. Always leave at least 25% of the surface covered so it can regrow. Rinse it lightly to remove any debris and feed it to your flock fresh. Fresh Azolla is about 90% water, so your chickens are getting a concentrated hit of nutrition in every mouthful. Start by mixing it into their regular feed at around 10 to 15% by weight. Most birds love it immediately. Some take a few days to warm up to it. Over time, you can steadily increase the ratio. If you want to store it or concentrate the nutrients further, dry it in the sun on a mesh screen or tarp. It will dry down in 1 to 2 days. Once dry, it crumbles easily and can be stored in a sealed container for months without losing its nutritional value. Let's talk numbers. 1 square meter of water surface can produce between 10 and 15 kilograms of fresh Azolla every single month. That is 22 to 33 pounds from an area smaller than a coffee table. At 90% moisture content, that translates to roughly 2 to 3 pounds of dry nutritional matter per square meter per month. If you replace just 20% of your monthly feed with Azolla, you are looking at meaningful savings immediately. Scale to 3 or 4 containers, and you could replace 40 to 50% of your commercial feed entirely. One backyard farmer in the Carolinas reduced her monthly feed bill from $92 down to under $25 by running 3 plastic storage bins of Azolla alongside her existing flock setup. Another farmer in the Pacific Northwest replaced half his layer feed using a single 6-foot stock tank positioned against a south-facing fence. These are not outliers. These are replicable results that anyone with a container, some water, and a handful of starter culture can achieve. This is not just about saving money on chicken feed, though saving several $100s a year is genuinely worth doing. This is about recognizing that the systems we have been conditioned to depend on are not the only systems available. For over 1,000 years, farmers across Asia have grown their own livestock feed using nothing but sunlight, water, and a plant that regenerates itself on its own schedule. No supply chains, no corporate margins, no diesel price fluctuations. Just a container of water and something green floating on top of it. That knowledge did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because it was never profitable enough for anyone to market it to you. Now you have it. Set up 1 Azolla container this month. Start small. 1 kiddie pool, 1 stock tank, One old bathtub you were going to throw out anyway. Watch what happens over the first 2 weeks. Then come back and drop a comment below telling me how it went. I read every single one. And tell me this. How much are you currently spending on feed every month? I am genuinely curious how much this could save people watching this right now. If this opened your eyes to what is possible, hit subscribe. Golden Garden Secrets is where we dig up the forgotten methods that actually work, that cost nothing, and that nobody is trying to sell you. New videos every week. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and I will see you in the next one. Your chickens are going to eat better. Your wallet is going to recover, and you will never look at a bag of feed the same way again.